Or
I grew up with that. Love that.
Madison's greatest hits.
Some people like the classics.
Rewind 92.1.
Broadcasting live from the Metro Ford of Madison Studios. This is the Big 1070 WTSO Madison. Take us anywhere on the free iHeartRadio app. Talking Golf on the Golf Effect Network is on the air. Talking Golf is brought to you by American Transmission Company, ATC, helping you keep the lights on, businesses running, and communities strong. American Family Insurance, insure carefully and dream fearlessly. Oak Park Place, offering senior living options for the lifestyle you deserve, with amenities and services for a carefree, independent way of life. And by the Princeton Club, a premier health club that combines state-of-the-art equipment with a highly trained staff and convenient locations. Now, here are your co-hosts of Talking Golf, Dennis Tiziani and Paul Brown.
Who's a 15-year coach of the women's golf team, is going to be on with us. There's a regional coming up at UW Ridge on May 7, 8, and 9. A couple of his players are going to be here. In fact, they're here with us. Becky Klonglin is here, and Aya Johnson is here. And we'll be chatting with them a little bit later on in the show. Also, Tiz, a longtime associate that you've known, Greg Dick, who's the general manager of the University Club Milwaukee and Country Club, a member of the Hall of Fame in Wisconsin golf. You guys go way back, don't you? Many years.
Yeah, he went to school in Northern Illinois the year before that I became the men's golf coach. So, and then he worked here, and from that point on, we helped him golf game wise, and then he won a state open and overachieved, but he won a state open. And then he went to Dallas. He spent a great amount of time there, and now at Triple I. And he's doing great there. I mean,
he got his first job in the business from Dennis Tiziani, but save that story until later. I've got one other little story.
Okay, I'll save it.
Did you know that he went to Houston for 1 year and played college golf?
Yeah.
And you knew who a couple of his teammates were?
Who?
Nick Faldo and Sandy Lyle.
Really? Two real winners.
Yeah.
They're foreigners, though. I'm not much on that.
Todd, the tournament's coming up at UW Ridge. In general, the golf course, the NCAA sets it up for the tournament.
They do.
And we'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. But any big changes at the Ridge, not only for your tournament, the NCAA, but obviously for Steve Stricker in the American Family Insurance Tournament coming up in June. On the second hole, primarily, they lost the big tree. What are they going to do with that situation?
Yeah, it was August of last summer. We had a bad storm come through. We lost a number of trees on the golf course, but the one that was most visible was that tree that kind of protected the green on the second hole, and bunch of the trees, I mean, they were literally just completely turned over at the roots. I mean, we just lost the tree. The plans are they are going to replace the tree, and so that's coming. Probably right after the regional is probably when they'll get to work on that and kind of get a tree in there. I think there's a couple of trees already on property that maybe they're looking at transplanting. I think they're considering bringing something different in as well, but they're going to get something replaced. It won't be the size of the original tree, they actually had two there. And so of the two that they lost, it won't be that same size and growth at this point, but it will get there at some point. And the tree they're going to transplant will be pretty significant.
Any other changes at the Ridge that would be noticeable to the players or the fans?
No, I don't think so. I mean, other than that, everything will be pretty much as it's been. I guess I shouldn't say that. They added a new tee box to the 18th hole. It'll be interesting to see whether or not
further back.
Yep, further back. So they added some length to the 18th hole. Wasn't on the forefront of my mind because it isn't really a tee that we will use for our team. But it certainly is going to be a great addition for the men's team, and whether or not they use it for the AmFam championship, I guess it'll be remain to be seen. But that'll add a lot of length to that hole.
Oh,
Dennis, you coached the Badgers for many, many years. Obviously, you're familiar with UW Ridge. Todd was telling us before we went on, they set it up the NCAA about 6,300 yards, and you know that golf course. Is that a fair test for the gals?
That'll be plenty long enough, because the game on that course is the greens and around the greens. That's where it's at there. And once that, they'll figure it out. The ball isn't going to break up that ridge. That's a significant part of what's going on. And that big water hole down on the side of number 4 is there for a reason. I mean, that's where the water's going to run. Our people know that. So it's going to take somebody else a while to figure out. You'll see some quizzical looks, after they putt. But that's a great place to play. And I know the conditions have gotten better since the AmFam tournament also. I think there's more of a incentive to make it better. And we'll get the benefit of that as a team.
And we'll talk about the NCAA regional that's coming up with Todd after this timeout on the Golf Effect Radio Network.
The American Family Championship features golf's living legends competing right here in Wisconsin. Take advantage of the Wild Rock American Family Championship package, which includes 18 holes with GPS cart at Wild Rock, with lunch and a Wild Rock hat, plus a ticket to the championship in Madison this June. Call or check out our website for availability, 608-253-4653, or wildrockgolf.com. That's wildrockgolf.com.
At Oak Park Place, they understand there are some loves that last a lifetime, like the love of the game, and they celebrate those things that make you uniquely you. Their community of friends, family, and caring staff provide support if you need it, while you enjoy your independence when you want it. Because they know that sharing memories of time well spent is just that, time well spent. Learn more about senior living at an Oak Park Place near
Dave,
you.
one of the
network
spots is
the PGA Tour champions are coming back to Madison. The 2018 American Family Insurance Championship Week is set for June 18th through the 24th.
Give me 1 second.
Tickets are available now at amfamchampionship.com/tickets. Be on the
okay, I'm ready for
tournament host Steve Stricker tees it off. Proceeds from the AmFam Championship benefit the Steve Stricker American Family Insurance Foundation, the American Family Children's Hospital, and numerous local Madison charities. Don't miss out. Get your tickets on amfamchampionship.com/tickets.
What can you count on? There's that friend who always calls at the right time.
Hey, John.
A loyal companion, always ready to go. Here's something else you can count on: electricity. Just flip a switch and your life.
All right, when's he coming on?
At American Transmission Company, we help make sure electricity.
Okay, was there any more numbers?
You need it. That's what we do. Deliver
any more numbers?
Reliable power for your everyday life. American Transmission Company, helping to keep the lights on.
Sorry, I was asking if there was any more numbers.
The critics are raving. It's the hottest reservation in the city, and people wait months for a table. And now, it's finally time to take your seat behind the wheel of the 2018 E-Class at your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer. This is performance at its most tasteful. Refined power and Mercedes-Benz luxury with enough turbocharged torque to get you back in time for dessert. Visit MBUSA.com/E-Class to learn more. Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing.
Did you know every 65 seconds somebody develops Alzheimer's disease? Kills more people than breast cancer and prostate cancer combined. Or that 1 out of 3 seniors die with the disease or another form of dementia. For the first time, the UW School of Medicine and Public Health will be partnering with the Steve Stricker American Family Insurance Foundation for a unique fundraising event that was created to support Alzheimer's research at the UW. In the next several weeks, the partnership will introduce Birdies to End Alzheimer's. This special fundraising event will run in conjunction with the American Family Insurance Championship at University Ridge in June.
All right, guys, 20 seconds.
What's really impressive about this upcoming campaign is that 100% of the proceeds will be used to fund Alzheimer's research at the UW. Stay tuned for more information on how you can become involved with Birdies to End Alzheimer's.
W265 CD Madison.
We're back on Talking Golf on the Golf Effect Radio Network from Cherokee Country Club in Madison, along with Dennis Tiziani. I'm Paul Brown. We continue our conversation with Todd Orline, UW women's coach for the last 15 years, and this is the 5th time in the last 6 years that the women's team will be playing in the NCAA regionals here in Madison at UW Ridge, and that is on May 7th, 8th, and 9th. It'll be the 9th time in school history the Badgers have qualified for the NCAA. Todd, you mentioned you've been quoted as saying it was a good season that your club had. Recap it for us.
Yeah, I thought we played really solid, throughout the whole season. Early on in the fall, I mean, we finished through. We didn't play a tournament this fall where we finished anything outside of the top 5. Came off the fall season, finished or ranked 27th in the country. Thought we had a really good start to our season on that side. Came out early spring, and at the team, the players had all gone places over the holidays, over Christmas break. They came in, they were prepared, ready to go. We took a training trip here early, late January, and then started right away in early February, and really came out playing really well. Started out with a bunch of top 4, top 5 finishes, and I was really proud of how we played and what we did. Scoring records, the team's averaging 293, a lot of low numbers, put a lot of pressure on the golf course. Definitely showed some really good things.
Now you got the 9th seed in this particular tournament. There's 18 teams coming, including the Badgers. Duke is here, USC, Arizona State, Notre Dame. Just to name a few in the Big Ten, Northwestern, Illinois, Purdue, and Ohio State. You look at the field, who would some of the favorites be?
Well, I mean, the top seeds instantly jump out to you. I mean, your top 3 seeds are Duke, USC, and Arizona State. And those, in the world of college golf, those are 3 really prominent, prestigious programs. There's enough depth in women's college golf right now, though, where they can't just show up. They have to play well, and so I mean, while those teams certainly are going to be great programs and great teams, the regional is balanced, strong. You look at it, and there's probably 10, 11 teams that certainly can play well enough and get through without question. 6 teams advance, and so it'll be a great event, great tournament.
Dennis, from your perspective, having coached women's golf as well as Badger men's golf, obviously there's somewhat of an advantage, correct, for the current Badger players. You're playing on your home course. They obviously know the course, right? So how big a deal is that in your mind?
It's a big deal that they would know it. Unfortunately, though, we had snow a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it about hitting balls and all that sort of stuff, but you got to play your way in shape, and they didn't have a chance. You got rain, you got snowed out. But now, wait a while, now we got this week, and now they're playing, and so they're going to catch up and make this work. But I never did understand, why do we have a Big Ten in April? I just go nuts about that. And, what's wrong with May? And I remember they moved the NCAAs up. We used to play in June. And now they're playing now only because, here we go. You got some people on the board that want to keep the northern schools out. And this is really a thing. And of course, why don't we play on our Big Ten courses? Why are we playing in other courses other than the money part? I get that part.
Well, I think the main move to the neutral sites. I mean, I think there's a competitive piece in those years where, and I realize it rotates, but I think a large piece to the neutral site was to stay within the Big Ten footprint, but try to get as far south in that footprint as possible.
Yeah. And
just to try to find as warm of a climate as we possibly can, just to try to create some some quality to that event, because it is early in the year. I mean, it is that 3rd weekend in April, and over the years we've had some really, really difficult conditions to have to try to play our championship in.
Absolutely, we should play later. That would be my thing. I mean, I think they're going to do good this week. I'm hoping we're going to go over and watch them play a little bit, and yell at them from behind the trees. All that. No, we won't do that.
Yeah, there's no doubt he would probably do that too. No. Todd, at the same time that you got the advantage because the players know the course, there are some additional distractions this week, are there not, for the team members, because this is kind of special? How do you deal with that?
Yeah, I think you try to stick to your routine as best as possible. I think their ability to really be organized and manage their time commitments, is a really big piece to it. I'm really happy and comfortable that They've all been through this before. You know, 4 seniors, a junior in the lineup. They have that experience, and so they kind of know how to manage their classes and their final schedule. One of the things that makes it really exciting is that people are going to be in town, and if you know you're close, and so you'll have people there and friends and family. Just you have to kind of embrace that and just approach it as a benefit and not let it distract you. And so we just talk about kind of eliminating distractions and managing things, and just when you're there for golf, you need to be engaged and just be really in tune with what you're doing.
As we mentioned, here with us in our little broadcast studio at Cherokee, Becky Klonglin is here, native of Stoughton, Wisconsin, and Aya Johnson, who's from the Michigan area. What are their strengths? What do they bring to the program as you look back on their careers?
Yeah, they're sitting right here, you know, and can get emotional here talking about our players when you get these seniors. And
I know it.
They've been really special people in our program. And Becky, you ask about strengths, and Becky's kind of that ultimate grinder out on the golf course. And one of the things I've always just really appreciated and respected about Becky is just she never quits on a hole. I mean, she's always in a hole. She's always there. Hits a ton of great golf shots, puts a ton of pressure on the golf course, really has herself in position, has taken a lot of strides in those areas. You know, maybe as a freshman, it was a lot of scrambling, but here as she's gotten older, ball striking has really become much more consistent, really solid, and just has really grown competitively as a player. And Aya, you know, the story with Aya is Aya came in as a freshman and showed a lot of promise and was in and out a little bit as a freshman. And then her sophomore year was really starting to break through and starting to kind of get comfortable, and then had an unfortunate back injury in the spring of her sophomore year. And it's been a little over 2 years since she's been able to get back in the lineup. And it's just determination and persistence and patience, and never wavered from her commitment to the program and commitment to the university and what she was doing, and just found other areas while she was trying to get healthy and improve and get to a point where she could play, found other areas to help the program and other areas to take a leadership role. And so her the perspective that she's kind of found, and that added determination and competitiveness has just been a great fit this year, and really a shot in our arm for our team and for our program, and just been really great to see.
I can see it in both you guys when you talk about that. And Dennis, over the years, I've been around you a little bit, and I sense that one of the gratifications you really get, passion is obviously teaching the game and making people better, but the relationship of your former players and the amount of those people that keep in contact with you.
Well, yeah, you know, that's why you do it. I mean, the trust thing, it takes forever to get the trust and 2 seconds to lose it. But once you have that, and you can move down and give, you know, concrete suggestions and make them their own best teacher as you go forward. And as they get older, they have their own way of doing things anyway. And you cease to be a teacher and you become a resource. And they ask you questions, you know, about a second to answer it, so you better be ready. But the teaching kind of goes away, and you're more of a resource, more of a life thing than it is anything. So it's everything. I mean, and seeing now, I mean, for me, I'm teaching the kids of my players are coming here, you know. You know, Greg, in fact, Jim, he brought his 2 boys up here. And of course, we watch my boys hit balls. They're 12 years old. They're twins. And I said, okay, you know, so we watch them hit balls, and calls the boys over here. They stand at attention and tell coach what I told you. And the boys say, we can only listen to my dad. The only other person we can listen to about our golf swing is a coach. You know, they verbatim, they were serious as could be. And I said, oh boy, but you know, it's everything. Now, you know, like I said, you got their kids are coming here, you know, so it's really cool.
Todd, we're going to take a break here in a minute, but one final question. We could probably talk about it for a long period of time, but over the years, in terms of recruiting players, and the women's golf is changing. For example, on the LPGA right now, I think from last week's tournament, 16 of the top 20 finishers were not U.S. players, that type of things. In terms of recruiting for college, You got to look everywhere, or is it better potentially to have players that grow up in the Midwest that are used to the environment of playing in those kind of conditions, or where's it at recruiting wise?
It is everywhere. But I would tell you that our base is still Wisconsin and the upper Midwest. And that is what we've built our program on and what our program is primarily about. And it's the core of what our program is. And yet, when you then expand and look at the other parts of our roster historically, there's always some people from all over the place. There may be a little bit of some international players. It may be Aaron Ziegler from Oregon, or Claire Fitzgerald from Florida, or just people from coast to coast. But at the end of the day, the core of what our program has been built on Wisconsin players and just upper Midwest players.
Well, we'll chat with a couple of those upper Midwest players after this timeout, as Becky and Io will join us on the Golf Effect Radio Network after this break.
The PGA Tour champions are coming back to Madison. The 2018 American Family Insurance Championship Week is set for June 18th.
Wait, do we have a guest there on site, right?
Tickets are available now at amfamchampionship.com/tickets. Be on the links when tournament host Steve Stricker tees it off. Proceeds from the AmFam Championship benefit the Steve Stricker American Family Insurance Foundation, the American Family Children's Hospital, and numerous local Madison charities. Don't miss out. Get your tickets on amfamchampionship.com/tickets.
Hi, this is Dave Gary, and it's open house time at the Princeton Clubs. Come see what our clubs are all about. Try a class or just relax in our pools. Visit any of our clubs for free during our open house going on now. With more locations, more amenities, and more free classes, there's never been a better time to be a member of the Princeton Clubs. I think you'll be surprised how much better you'll feel just after a few visits. Plus, with our express locations all over the Madison area, you'll never be more than a few minutes away from your next workout. As a member, you'll also have access to Cherokee Country Club's outdoor pool to make the most out of your summer. So come try the Princeton Clubs today. Get inspired and start feeling great again. We keep our clubs spotlessly clean, open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and with free childcare and no joining fees. And if you're ready to step up to the Princeton Clubs, we'll even buy out your current membership somewhere else. The Princeton Clubs, voted Madison's best health club year after year. Visit PrincetonClub.net for more details.
At Oak Park Place, they understand there are some loves that last a lifetime, like the love of the game, and they celebrate those things that make you uniquely you. Their community of friends, family, and caring staff provide support if you need it, while you enjoy your independence when you want it. Because they know that sharing memories of time well spent is just that, time well spent. Learn more about senior living at an Oak Park Place near you. Visit oakparkplace.com.
The American Family Insurance Championship at University Ridge Golf Course is quickly approaching, and you can play the course for some of the best rates of the year. Enjoy spring rates as low as $55 with a GPS card from now until Memorial Day weekend. Or join the Ridge Club and pay half-price green fees for most of the season. You don't have to be a pro to play one of the best courses in southern Wisconsin. Book a tee time today at universityridge.com or give us a call, 845-7700. Play where the Badgers play and the pros play, University Ridge.
Right now, Cherokee Country Club is offering outstanding introductory golf memberships. You can join Cherokee as an individual member for $2,400. Depending on your age, you can get a family membership that starts at only $2,900. Check it out for yourself. What you're going to find is the best deal in Madison when it comes to joining a golf club. And by the way, your membership also allows you to use all of the facilities at the Princeton Club and the Madison Club. If you're a business owner, Cherokee offers a voucher golf program that allows you to purchase 20 rounds of golf, good for 18 holes with a golf cart, for only $1,000. What a great way to entertain your clients, customers, or employees. Cherokee also offers memberships for swimming and indoor and outdoor tennis. And the public is welcome to use the driving range, restaurant, banquet facilities, or book a wedding there. For more information, call 249-1000 or visit the website at CherokeeCountryClub.net. Welcome back to Talking Golf on the Golf Effect Radio Network from Cherokee Country Club in Madison. Along with Dennis Tiziani, I'm Paul Brown, and now we're going to chat with a couple of the players that are going to be performing at the Women's NCAA Regional at UW Ridge on May 7, 8, and 9. We're going to start with Aya Johnson, who's from Michigan. In fact, she won the Michigan Amateur Championship last July. Has also been involved with state championship, high school teams, junior championship, and won the Michigan Miss Golf back in 2012. And Coach mentioned Aya the back surgery back in 15 and 16, and then not competing in 16 and 17. How tough of an experience was that?
It was tough, I think, just because of how long it took to recover. And obviously being at school, having an injury, seeing everyone competing and out there and just not being able to do any of it. I think that was probably the hardest part.
What'd you learn about yourself as a person going through something like that?
I think I learned that I was more patient than I thought I was. You know, I have a different perspective on everything now. Just even when I get a bogey, obviously I get a little fired up, but it's not that bad when you look back at, you know, some of the stuff I went through with my back injury. Just perseverance, patience, and a little bit of perspective, I think, at the end of the day.
And in speaking of perspective, if you look back, and what perspective would you have for yourself about your experiences at Wisconsin and playing for the Badgers?
You know, I think it's just been one of the greatest experiences. You know, you meet some of your best friends and you have just the time of your life competing on good days and bad days. From being from Michigan, I obviously grew up over there, you know, cheering for the other schools. So coming here, though, I'm definitely a Wisconsin girl now, I would say. And I never thought I would say that.
Come on, I'm from Michigan.
You are?
I am, and I'm not a Wisconsin. I'm a Michigander. You know,
well, I
not
used
really.
To be.
But what part of Michigan?
Muskegon.
Oh yeah,
so,
I'm a Yooper.
Oh, that's
what
far
do you mean?
from me. That's
She's
like 4 hours from me.
Forget about you. It is about 4 hours.
Yes.
That's right.
You still got snow up there in Yooper country,
Yeah,
don't you?
guys just called me. They were trying to get down to my hunting camp. They couldn't get there. They still have snow.
And
there's 30 inches of snow on the lake. Ice.
Which town was it in Upper Michigan where they had 320 inches of snow?
Well, it's up in the Copper Country, you know, Calumet, Michigan.
That's 17 feet.
But that's normal, 300 inches. But keep in mind, it goes away. But
those
it starts snowing in September, little flakes, and then it quits again in May. Every day.
We're chatting with Aya Johnson, and we'll get to Becky here in a couple of minutes. What have you learned about yourself as a person? What has the game of golf done for you in terms of your preparation, whether you want to go on and play golf or whatever you want to do in life?
I think golf is one of those games that really just, it teaches you a lot about yourself and just staying patient and just having fun with it and, you know, not throwing a temper tantrum maybe when you want to, or you spiral out of control when you want to. Maybe I used to do that.
It's about handling. It's about handling.
She's looking at Coach there, right?
Oh yeah, well she's saying all the right things on it, but she's already talked to me. I know, but she's able to handle rejection better. That's probably the word.
Yes.
You know, where you can get over there and then move on and breathe right and all that sort of stuff. That's getting older.
Yes,
you know,
that's what I think too. But
absolutely,
I'll blame golf.
Realistically, with you and your teammates heading into this tournament, what's your mindset?
I think we're just really excited right now. I feel like it's kind of still a ways away. And obviously we just got back from Big Ten. So we all have things that we want to clean up and work on. And we're just kind of staying in the moment doing that. And when Sunday comes, we'll be ready to take a close look at the course one last time. Like we act like we haven't seen it a million times, but, you know, maybe have a little different perspective on the course and then tee it up and sling the rock on Monday. And so we're really excited.
In your game personally, clear it up, change it, make it better. What are the things you're working on?
Just a lot of short game stuff. Wedges, chipping, short pitch shots, and putting, getting the pace down of the greens.
And Dennis, there's one thing, and they list in their bios, they give them a chance to talk about what's your favorite movie, what's your favorite course, and those kind of things. I think Aya's got a good idea that a lot of people would appreciate. If she could change one thing about golf, you know what she said? One mulligan around.
No, I want to change that.
You want to change that, huh?
I think that I shouldn't have to hit
I
out
like
of a
the
divot.
idea. I like the idea.
I thought she was.
I don't think I want to hit out of divots anymore.
I
think
thought she
that
was
should
going to
be
say
changed.
play left-handed, or something like that, like him. One mulligan.
And one of the things she is looking forward to in the future, what do you want to do? And maybe you could give us at this time what your ideal job may be, which I think is kind of interesting.
Yeah, I would like to work at Golf Channel one day.
See, there you go.
Oh, we talked about it. It's in the works.
It is?
Oh, yeah. But I've been trying to get her
You
to
got your
finish
calling-
school. I was just, we got our.
I have a week to go, week and a half.
But I mean, the other
Till I
school, the
finish.
rest of it.
Yeah.
If she stayed and did a master's would be better. But we'll talk to our friend. What's his name?
Tim Rosafort.
Tim Fro. You know that name?
Yes.
He comes on
familiar.
the show pretty regular. I talk to him at least once a week. So
Networking.
it's now you're cooking. We right get that right in there. We'll get that, and we'll talk to Dan Hicks too, maybe, and say, I got a chick, you can't believe it, and she can beat you in golf, and that'll get him going.
Okay. Well, you're in
Dan
charge
Hicks?
of that.
Know that name? NBC. Is he NBC?
Yes, he's NBC.
Yeah, he's a big
Just
shot.
the lead commentator on NBC. That's
yeah.
right.
He is the lead
That's
commentator,
right,
and
he
he does really good. And I told you the story. Do we have time that I can tell this story?
You're the boss.
You're right. Good boy. But I'm sitting in my room watching TV. Steve Stricker is leading the tournament out at LA. Okay. And I'm sitting there and I'm watching, and Bobby, my wife, comes down and what are you doing? You're texting. I said, she said, who are you texting? I said, him. Who? That guy right up here, Dan. So he's asking me, why is Steve hooking the ball on these last 2 or 3 holes? And I'm texting him back why he's hooking. And he's telling the world after I'm telling, she's watching this thing. But Hicks is he's a real good friend, and he's a real good guy. And, sometimes it's who you know.
It is.
Yeah, get
That's
you
a
going.
lot of it.
Sitting here taking this all in is Becky Clongland from Stoughton. She grew up down in that area, and first golfer to win the Wisconsin State Amateur Championship 4 years in a row.
Yeah.
Dennis, how difficult is that?
Well, it's really special. And I've watched, when she was still in maybe grade school, hit the ball, and
grade school.
yeah, she was in grade school, and watch her hit in the wintertime indoors and stuff like that. And there was, I had not seen a young person move through the ball like she did. And that was my thing. She was working with Larry, I think, at the time. So I was telling her about this girl, but she goes right through it. And of course, she progressed, all the way to playing halfway decent, won a lot of tournaments. It's just great.
And one of the highlights, correct me if I'm wrong, in 2014, qualifying for the U.S. Amateur.
Yes.
That's one of your highlights?
Yeah, definitely. That was a great experience. Wasn't quite so fortunate the next few years to make it back, but definitely a memory I'm going to keep with me.
Yeah.
Becky, as you look back on your career at Wisconsin, what comes to mind in terms of the playing side of it, what it did for you in your career and that type of thing?
Yeah, playing golf at Wisconsin opened so many doors for me. Just the opportunity to see more places, to meet new people. I wouldn't have wanted to play anywhere else.
As you look ahead in terms of where you want to take your game, or what do you do in the future and that type of thing, where's your thought process of where you're heading, what you're going to do?
She's never going to tell you that.
Well, the reason I ask, because I understand one of the options might be law school, right?
Yes, I applied to law schools. I'm waiting to hear back from a couple of them still, but that is an option for the fall.
And also potentially looking at playing more golf at a different level. Would you like to go on in your career and play more golf?
I don't think I'm going to be. Nope. I have been very blessed to play as much golf as I have, and it's not something I'm going to stop playing, but maybe competitively I'll tone it down a little bit.
And when you talk about Larry, you mentioned Larry Tiziani.
Yeah.
You've worked with him for a long time, right?
Yeah. Yep. Years now.
I asked him earlier today for a scouting report on you. You want to know what he...
Oh, boy. Okay.
You ready for this? It's
Okay.
not going to be bad. You know that. Larry said, and you probably appreciate this, he said, number one is she gets it. She's a student athlete, is the way he described her. What does that mean, Dennis?
Well, knowing him, that's where he's going to, do his thing. His degree is in guidance and counseling and master's degree. So he's going to view somebody from a student standpoint, For me, you have to be real smart or real dumb to play good. So she's real smart and plays good. So, you know, again, a student of the game, you know, that they can, you know, they can handle themselves. They react to how to handle, mostly how to handle rejection. That's really where I go, or you teach them there. What are you doing? Why are you getting mad? It's an opportunity. You hit it in a sand trap. It's an opportunity to make it out of. You can't hold it out of a sand trap unless you hit it in there, right? So you get those type of things. Going. But he would view it as that way. But she is. So
he also said you're very effective at setting goals and working with them until you achieve them. Think that's a fair assessment?
Well, I hope it is. It's a very flattering one. Yeah, that's something Larry's talked about for years, about setting goals, short-term, long-term, whether it's on the golf course or off, and just striving to meet those.
And I think for the people listening to the show, in terms of golf, I think it's a neat story. Maybe you can say it in a short way. Your family lived on a farm down in Stoughton, and your dad, and I'm not sure who was involved with him, but you actually built a driving range or a putting green. And if you lived in the area, come on down and play, right? Just tell us a little bit about that. And is it still active?
It is. The driving range is still there. The high school team comes out every once in a while, and anyone in the area is welcome to come out and hit. But yeah, we live on a farm. He just grassed in part of the cornfield, put in a fully USGA regulated putting green in the back, complete with a bunker. So it's been a great place to practice.
Cool. Isn't that really cool? Isn't it?
It's really cool. You know, Jessie Gary.
Mm-hmm.
Well, her dad did the same thing up there. And Jim Lemon, you know that name?
Yeah.
Jim Lemon. Jim did that same thing down at his farm, ironically. Kids from Wisconsin, and they've got greens out there and tees and practice. Tells you a little bit about what we're talking about, kids from Wisconsin, you know.
And your thoughts on the tournament next week, the mindset of your team, and realistically, how do you look at next week?
Yeah, we're very excited for next week. Just like Aya said, like focusing on improving what we worked on last week at Big Tens. But we've played this course so many times. We all are very familiar with it. So just making sure we're in the mindset of a tournament is going to be the key.
And Becky, I want to ask you and Aya the same question. In terms of Wisconsin golf, what have you seen in progression of women's golf at Wisconsin in your time here? How's it changed?
I mean, I think we've made some great strides. Just even like from the recruitment. I mean, everyone's working really hard at their games. You can see it at practice, the focus, the drills that we work on. I think everyone's working in the key areas.
Aya, how do you see it?
I think every year there's just been more depth in the lineup. You know, you have one strong player when I was a freshman, and now we have 5. So it just, we come in as freshmen, and we might not be the best to ever be recruited to college golf, but we work our butts off, and here we are trying to make it to a national championship. So I think that's really what I've seen over my last 5 years.
And one final question for both of you, and we thank you for your time. The facility, and you get to play at other spots around the country and everything like that. What's the facility like in your mind at the Ridge?
Indoor or outdoor, or both?
Both.
Both. We are very fortunate to be able to practice inside like we do. We practice too much inside this year, in my opinion.
You're right.
But to be able to hit golf shots and hit wedges and putt and chip, we are just very fortunate to have that. And then outside to have the bowl area and to be able to hit 100-yard wedge shots into elevated greens is also, I think, to our advantage, especially having to play at the Ridge next week.
Becky, how do you see it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the bowl area is kind of an underrated spot. It's kind of hidden from the golf course, so not many people can see it, but there's 3 chipping greens and a putting green up there. And there's every possible short game shot you could want to hit. You can practice up there. I could go up and spend hours up there. I just love it.
Well, thank you, and the best of luck to both of you in your careers, and thank you for stopping by.
Thank you for having us.
And we'll be back after this time out on the Golf Effect Radio Network.
In today's world, we're more plugged in than ever.
All right, am I calling guest now?
When we flip the switch to turn on the lights or boot up our computers, we count on the stable, reliable transmission of electricity. And that's what American Transmission Company is all about. We don't generate electricity, but our grid helps energize your everyday life. We're the vital link between power production and the people who count on it. American Transmission Company, helping to keep the lights on, businesses running, and communities strong.
At Oak Park Place, they understand there are some loves that last a lifetime, like the love of the game, and they celebrate those things that make you uniquely you. Their community of friends, family, and caring staff provide support if you need it, while you enjoy your independence when you want it. Because they know that sharing memories of time well spent is just that.
All right, I got Greg.
Time well spent. Learn more about senior living at an Oak Park Place near you. Visit oakparkplace.com.
The American Family Insurance Championship at University Ridge Golf Course is quickly approaching, and you can play the course for some of the best rates of the year. Enjoy spring rates as low as $55 with a GPS card from now until Memorial Day weekend. Or join the Ridge Club and pay half-price green fees for most of the season. You don't have to be a pro to play one of the best courses in southern Wisconsin. Book a tee time today at universityridge.com or give us a call, 845-7700. Play where the Badgers play and the pros play, University Ridge.
The PGA Tour champions are coming back to Madison. The 2018 American Family Insurance Championship Week is set for June 18th through the 24th at University Ridge. Tickets are available now at amfamchampionship.com/tickets. Be on the links when tournament host Steve Stricker tees it off. Proceeds from the AmFam Championship benefit the Steve Stricker American Family Insurance Foundation, the American Family Children's Hospital, and numerous local Madison charities. Don't miss out. Get your tickets on amfamchampionship.com/tickets.
March 28, 2018 from Merkley & Partners. This is Mercedes Radio. Spot title, Fishing MY 18 GLC 9 offer 30 at ID DZAU 8074000. Length 30 seconds.
The mighty Blue Marlin. You've battled for 2 solid hours. He jumps again. He's almost at the side of the boat. It's the moment of truth.
What, 3? This is break number 3?
There's never been a better time to test drive the 2018 Mercedes-Benz GLC.
Yeah, there is one more local and network.
Loves to run. Set course for your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer. Visit mbusa.com/GLC to learn more. Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing.
Did you know every 65 seconds somebody develops Alzheimer's disease? Did you know it kills more people than breast cancer and prostate cancer combined? Or that 1 out of 3 seniors die with the disease or another form of dementia? For the first time, the UW School of Medicine and Public Health will be partnering with the Steve Stricker American Family Insurance Foundation for a unique fundraising event that was created to support Alzheimer's research at the UW. In the next several weeks, the partnership will introduce Birdies to End Alzheimer's. This special fundraising event will run in conjunction with the American Family Insurance Championship at University Ridge in June. What's really impressive about this upcoming campaign is that 100% of the proceeds will be used to fund Alzheimer's research at the UW. Stay tuned for more information on how you can become involved with Birdies to End Alzheimer's.
Coming in.
Talking golf on the Golf Effect Radio Network from Cherokee Country Club in Madison, along with Dennis Tiziani. I'm Paul Brown, and joining us now is Greg Dick, who's the general manager of the University Club of Milwaukee and Country Club. And you got 2 Wisconsin Hall of Famers involved in this show now, and then there's me.
Yeah, right. Left-handed,
left-handed, and I'm not in the Hall of Fame, but Greg's in the Hall of Fame.
Hall of Shame.
Dennis is in the Hall of Fame, and PB is a left-hander who can't keep the ball in the fairway.
That's right.
Greg, welcome to the show. We appreciate you being on, and let's start a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about your golfing career before we get into the discussion of the business side of golf and what's going on over in Milwaukee. You grew up in Eau Claire. You played for Eau Claire Memorial, and he won a state high school championship back in 1974. And do you believe Greg shot a 67 at Stevens Point Country Club? That sounds pretty good, doesn't it, Dennis?
Well, he was a good player. Like I said, he was a good player, but no, he is a good player. Unfortunately, missed him in coming here. I'd like to have had him here, and But we spend a lot of time together and have a relationship that is very comparable to any other players that I've had.
Greg also won a state amateur title back in 1980, the state open title in 84, and you tried to play golf at the next level, Greg. Just take us through that aspect of your life a little bit about your golf career.
Well, I, got out of college and didn't want to give it up like a lot of guys. And so the first place I went was back to Cherokee to try to spend as much time with Dennis and Larry as I could and play with all the good players around there and made it through the first stage of tour qualifying. Was a lot different back then, but I made it through the first stage a couple times and actually missed. Closest I got was I missed by one stroke. I bogeyed the last hole at Disney World and missed qualifying for the tour by a stroke. And that was kind of the end of the run for me. It's a lot of work. It's not glamorous by any means at that level when you're trying to make it. And I gave it a shot for a couple of years and enjoyed it, and will always be glad that I did. But got a lot of support from Dennis and Larry and got close.
We're going to talk about Dennis and Larry in a couple of minutes. You spent a majority of your college career at Northern Illinois, but you were at Houston for 1 year. I understand a couple of your teammates were Nick Faldo and Sandy Lyle. What kind of an experience was that?
Well, Houston was a great golf experience. It wasn't much of a scholastic experience, but we had about 8. It was before Title IX, so there were no scholarship limits. And I think there were 18 to 20 guys on the golf team, and he did recruit Coach Williams, kind of a legendary coach. Recruited 3 guys from England, and 2 of them were Nick and Sandy, and actually ended up being Nick's roommate. So it was fun. Haven't stayed in touch closely with him, but I've seen him every few years. I've seemed to run into him here and there, and have always enjoyed the relationship.
We're chatting with Greg Dick, and Greg, when you gave up your aspirations to try and make a living on the PGA Tour, then you decided to move on or work on the business side. And tell the story about this. When you got on that side, you figured you got to get your first job on the business side, and apparently you worked something out with a guy named Dennis Tiziani. How did all of that work?
Well, the last thing that Tiz needed was another assistant pro in those years, but he took me on, and I did a good job of cleaning clubs and gassing carts and stepped up to vacuum cleaning shortly after that. But I had a great experience there with Larry and Dennis, but also with the other guys that worked there. And you talk a lot about the mentoring that the Tiziani brothers do and teaching the game, but they also have started a lot of guys off in great careers. And I think there were 4 assistants there, all of whom became very successful, head golf professionals and made great careers out of golf. And that was just in my era. And you do that every 4 or 5 years. You send another group out. So there's a lot of guys out there that have ties back to Cherokee.
Dennis, think back a little bit. What did you see in Greg at that time? What stood out in your mind?
Well, he's not a quitter. The other was that he was able to handle that business of rejection pretty good that I talk about. He was a better than average short game putter. There was no real shortness, shortfall. There were some things we worked on, wrist position, stuff like that. But for the most part, he was surprisingly disciplined as a player. And which was the way he took that discipline and those ideals that he had and took them on in business, which made him successful in business. I mean, obviously, he mentioned about us having people that were, but he had a number of people that he had when he was at Dallas there. I've been there a couple times, took my team there, and saw what he was able to do and transform, not just in the golf business, but in the real estate business and so forth. So he, you know, he built his own way, and he got on the road and he stayed there.
And about a year ago, came back to the state of Wisconsin when they combined resources between the University Club of Milwaukee and Triple I. And Greg was named the general manager at both of those facilities. Greg, just kind of summarize, why was that put together as one organization?
Well, I think you know, the private club business as a whole is a tough business these days. Things have changed. Families are different. Society's different, and I think they were looking for strength in numbers, and thought that there could be some efficiencies achieved if they joined together, and that they would be able to offer, you know, more benefit, more value to their members. So I think that's eventually why they decided to do it, and I'm, you know, excited to be here and excited to be part of it, and working through all the challenges and all the excitement that comes with it.
Dennis, you talk about that all the time, about consolidation of resources, facilities, and those kind of things. So obviously, as you look into the future for golf, there seems like that's one of the ways they're going to go down the line.
Well, strategic alliances are really important, and we have them. Obviously, there are a number of recreational facilities like the Wisconsin that have taken on golf courses because that's part of what they can offer. And we do it. I mean, we do it with the Princeton Club. I mean, Princeton Club doesn't own this, but it creates a value for our membership to be there. And it benefits both because in their case, their members can use our facility too. So without them buying, or in my case, giving up any ownership or the like, we created that same thing. It's a workable thing. You know, private clubs is a very difficult thing today. You know, it's difficult and more difficult than it was before. Too many options. Millennial people, not to use that term, you know, they don't really need to go to a country club to get connections. The social media and the things that are available to these people today, and young people today, well, people in general, don't want to be sold anything. They just want information to make their own decision, and they can get that information. But in this case, if you can, you know, you can play golf, and now they're going to do an indoor facility, and you can do things from a recreational standpoint, just like here. It's golf, and it's tennis, and racquetball, and now pickleball, on and on it goes. So it's creating value, which he just mentioned. It creates value with his member.
And we'll talk about some of the latest developments in Milwaukee and what's going to happen with the golf scene over there with Greg Dick after this time out on the Golf Effect Radio Network.
Hi, this is Dave Gary, and it's open house time at the Princeton Clubs. Come see what our clubs are all about. Try a class or just relax in our pools. Visit any of our clubs for free during our open house going on now. With more locations, more amenities, and more free classes, there's never been a better time to be a member of the Princeton Clubs. I think you'll be surprised how much better you'll feel just after a few visits. Plus, with our express locations all over the Madison area, you'll never
Dave,
be
we'll
more than a
basically
few
be getting
minutes
back
away
at
from your next
56.
workout. As a member, you'll also have access to Cherokee Country Clubs
and
up
3
pool
seconds or
to
so.
make the most out of your summer. So come try the Princeton Clubs today. Get inspired and start feeling
Oh,
great
yeah.
again.
How's that
We
work
keep
again
our
in the
clubs
end?
spotlessly clean, open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and with free childcare and no joining fees. And if you're ready to step up to the Princeton Clubs, we'll even buy out your current membership somewhere else. The Princeton Clubs, voted Madison's best health club year after year.
Okay, so 59:10. I got to play music at 58:20. You guys are you bringing your guest
You
back
wake
on?
up in the morning, turn off your alarm, flip on the lights,
All right.
push of a button, TVs, radios, coffee makers, and computers come alive in our homes. Automation and technology are keeping local businesses running and the economy growing. You don't think twice about all that powers our everyday life. We count on the stable, reliable transmission of electricity. And that's what American Transmission Company is all about. American Transmission
look
Company,
like it?
helping to keep the lights on, businesses running, and communities strong.
The PGA
All right, so I'm going to be
Tour
playing music at
champions are coming back
58:20.
to
That's
Madison.
50
The
seconds,
2018
5-0.
American Family Insurance Championship Week is set for June 18th through the 24th at University
Correct.
Ridge. Tickets are available now at amfamchampionship.com/tickets. Be on the links when tournament host Steve Stricker tees it off. Proceeds from the AmFam Championship benefit the Steve Stricker American Family Insurance Foundation, the American Family Children's Hospital, and numerous local Madison charities. Don't miss out. Get your tickets on amfamchampionship.com/tickets.
Right now, Cherokee Country Club is offering outstanding introductory golf memberships. You can join Cherokee as an individual member for $2,400. Depending on your age, you can get a family membership that starts at only $2,900. Check it out for yourself. What you're going to find is the best deal in Madison when it comes to joining a golf club. And by the way, your membership also allows you to use all of the facilities at the Princeton Club and the Madison Club. If you're a business owner, Cherokee offers a voucher golf program that allows you to purchase 20 rounds of golf, good for 18 holes with a golf cart, for only $1,000. What a great way to entertain your clients, customers, or employees. Cherokee also offers memberships for swimming and indoor and outdoor tennis. And the public is welcome to use the driving range, restaurant, banquet facilities, or book a wedding there. For more information, call 249-1000 or visit the website at CherokeeCountryClub.net.
30 seconds.
The American Family
You'll have
Championship features
2
golf's
minutes
living
and 15
legends
seconds
right here
until I
in
play music.
Wisconsin. Take advantage of the Wild Rock American Family
Until I play
Championship
music,
package,
then there's
which
50 more
includes 18
seconds.
holes with GPS cart at Wild Rock, with lunch and a Wild Rock hat, plus a ticket to the championship in Madison this June.
Yes.
Call or check out our website for availability, 608-253-4653 or wildrockgolf.com.
5 seconds, stand by.
wildrockgolf.com.
Back on Talking Golf on the Golf Effect Radio Network, along with Dennis Tiziati, I'm Paul Brown, and with us is Greg Dick, who's the general manager of the University Club of Milwaukee and Country Club. And guys, we've only got about 3 minutes left. So Greg, we're going to have you come back because we've got a lot more that we want to talk about. But for golf in Milwaukee, you look into your crystal ball. What do you see, say, 5 to 10 years down the road for the state of golf, public course-wise, private-wise, in the Milwaukee area?
Well, I think it's really healthy. I've traveled a little bit and lived in a couple other states, and I've never seen people that enjoy or care about golf more than Wisconsin people do. And when the weather allows, they're going to play golf. And we've got just a wealth of facilities here. Some great clubs and then some great public courses. It's and then the really high end stuff that's come on with Erin Hills and what's right up the road to our north at Kohler. It's a great mix.
And you talk about the history of your area, your club, and Triple I, and you're going to go into potentially a redesign of the club, but we don't have time to get into that. But overall, your early evaluation of the two being combined into one resource, what's your impression so far?
Well, I think it's really worked well, and the foresight that these the members of the two clubs had, the work that the two boards of directors did to make this all come together. There's a lot of egos that had to be set aside and looked at the good, the bigger good, and it's been exciting to be a part of it. And I think it's going to work well, and we've got some exciting stuff ahead.
Dennis, you're going to be over at Triple I in May?
May 24th. We'll be over there with the coach. I forget his name. What's the coach at Marquette, Greg?
Steve Bailey from Marquette.
Yeah, that's the guy. We're going to be over there and chat about golf and some of the things we're doing here. But I really like to have Greg come back so that we can chat a little bit more about that and that relationship there with Marquette. I'm interested in that big time.
Greg, can you do that? Can you come back?
I would love to anytime.
All right. Thank you very much.
Nice to meet you, Paul, and great to be with you, Tiz.
All right.
Take care.
I'll see you shortly.
Sorry, we're out of time. Boy, it goes fast, doesn't it? Along with Dave McCann in Madison, Dennis Tiziati, I'm Paul Brown. Thank you for joining us, and we'll be back on Monday at 6 o'clock at Cherokee and do it again next week for round 3 of Talking Golf on the Golf Effect Radio Network.
Cool.
Thank you for tuning in to Talking Golf on the Golf Effect Network. Talking Golf has been brought to you by American Transmission Company, ATC, helping you keep the lights on, businesses running, and communities strong. American Family Insurance, insure carefully and dream fearlessly. Oak Park Place, offering senior living options for the lifestyle you deserve, with amenities and services for a carefree, independent way of life. And by the Princeton Club, a premier health club that combines state-of-the-art equipment with a highly trained staff and convenient locations. Until next time, here's wishing you fairways and greens. Broadcasting live from the Metro Ford of Madison Studios.